Hitting lefty-lefty is one thing that most MLB The Show players struggle to master. It is difficult. It is a platoon disadvantage. That's why lefty specialists exist. But for me, in MLB The Show 23, I got so much better at hitting lefty-lefty. I'm going to teach you how I did it. With MLB The Show 24 rolling around pretty soon, we are less than a month away, thank goodness. It's time to get better. It's time to pick up 23 again and practice. And the best thing you should be practicing with your hitting, just to get it out of the way and just to start getting used to it now, is hitting lefty-lefty. You cannot avoid the situation. Ultimately, in the late innings, going to a right-handed bat or a switch hitter, that might be the best option to win the game. And I'm supporting that. I condone that. But early in the game, I want to stop seeing people make platoon switches in the first inning. You can hit lefty-lefty. You just have to practice. For those of you who are new here, howdy. My name is Kenny. I am clearly an MLB The Show content creator. And I'm here to give you all sorts of tips, tricks, opinions, news, interviews, advice, everything for anything MLB The Show. So make sure you subscribe because you don't want to miss a single upload on this channel. All right, let's get into practice mode. Let's work on our lefty-lefty swing. Let's take some hacks. All right, so we are practicing intentionally here. We are not just choosing any lefty pitcher. You can choose any lefty batter, whomsoever you like. But don't just choose any lefty pitcher. For me, I'm choosing Framber Valdez. Why? He has a cutter and a sinker. Cutter and a sinker and a cutter, that is the meta. That is what, I don't know, 75% of pitchers you're going to see have. I would say at least 90% have one of those pitches. Many of them will have a sinker. So we want to practice against what's going to happen to us. The number one pitch thrown, anecdotally speaking, to get lefties out is a sinker on the fists from another lefty. So we are going to practice against that. The very first thing we're going to do, this is a couple-step process in practice mode. You're going to pick Framber Valdez. I've chosen Anthony Rizzo as my hitter. You're going to put sinkers all the way to the max, and we are going to choose the 3 inside quadrants. If you select quadrants, the ball will only appear in said quadrants. I want to guarantee reps here. I'm not looking for pitch recognition right now. I know I'm getting a sinker. I know I'm getting it inside. I'm just working on turning on it. Because the number one way they're going to try to get you out is to jam you on the fists. So my strategy for hitting lefty-lefty anyway is to begin inside. Look at that, nice swing to start. I'm pinning the PCI inside because I just assume they're going to try to beat me. I'm on legend, by the way. Perfect. Practice on whatever pitch speed is just one step too difficult for you. Because the goal here is to turn on pitches. Very nice start. As soon as you turn on that first lefty-lefty sinker on the fists, even if you obliterate it foul, your opponent, that was a bad swing, your opponent's going to be like, oh, I can't throw that no more. He is horny for it. That's the goal. Of course we want to hit it, but at the very least, we're just trying to instill a little bit of fear in the opponent. We want the opponent to rethink his or her pitching strategy. Nice swing by Anthony Rizzo, a little off of it, but we're turning on it. We have not been jammed by any of them yet. If your general strategy lefty-lefty is not to start inside, maybe you like to start low. Look at that. We started low, we pulled it in, we hit it over the fence. Practice that. It's a little bit of self-restraint. You're not going to cheat, but like start where you normally start your PCI, and then when you see the pitch, boom, move to it, hit it. I actually overshot that, but I still got it in the gap. Simulate whatever you think is going to happen in the game. Maybe you like starting high. All right, we'll start high. And well, he actually happened to throw it high, so it wasn't that hard. But I moved the PCI in. Simulate whatever's going to happen to you. All right, let's get one more good one in, and then we'll move on to step number 2. Perfect. Not really, but it's a ding-dong. It's to center field. It wasn't that bad. We were just late. Whatever. Let's move on anyway. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is turn off sinkers entirely and turn up cutters. We're going to change from all the way inside to all the way outside. Because the next pitch they're going to try to use to get you out, especially after you turn on a sinker, they're going to try to throw something slower, moving the opposite direction. You're getting a cutter. So we're turning cutters all the way up, all the way on the outside part of the plate, and now we're going to practice on starting inside, like a sinker's coming, and then adjusting to a slower pitch, and either hitting it away, or at the very least, hitting it square. We're not trying to hit weak contact here. We don't need to pull everything for a homer, but we are trying to square it up. So I'm starting inside. Here comes the pitch. I'm way early. That is, Framber Valdez sinker cutter difference is actually one of the better differences in the game. All right, so I'm starting inside like I'm trying to beat a sinker, and then here comes the cutter. We follow it, we tipped it. Wasn't great. This is going to be much harder for most people, it is for me, than the sinker practice. But that's good. At least I'm hitting it. It's not great. We're going to get there. This is going to be much harder. The pitch is moving in a different direction. It is a lot slower. You just practiced a bunch against one type of break in on your hands. So you're going to have to adjust. That's the whole point. And the harder thing for a lot of people is going to be starting inside and moving outside. Practice it. Practice it. That's disgusting. It might be a hit, though. Practice your game situations. You could just stand out here like this, pin the PCI away, and just catch it. Just catch. I mean, it still wasn't great, but it was up the middle. You could just catch it. We don't want to do that. We want to make it hard for ourselves because we want to get better. We want to improve. We're going to get one good one because this one is harder, and then we're going to move on. You can practice this for as long as you need to. I'll take that single up the middle. We'll move on to the next step. The one last pitch location or pitch type I want to practice before we turn on both sinkers and cutters is the sinker all the way outside. Because if you take away the sinker in and you potentially take away the cutter away, the next thing they're going to try to do is tunnel the sinker with the cutter and try to get you napping on a sinker away. This one should not be that difficult. You could practice this in a couple of swings, but you just want to see it. You just want to get the reps. So again, we're going to start sinker in like we think it's coming, and we're going to adjust outside. I overshot it, probably because I knew it was coming. I tried my best to hold back, but you want to read the pitch. Look, you can even start outside if you want to. You can start outside sometimes, that's fine. I would prefer that you simulate, moving from in to out, but if you just want to get some practice in, there you go. Start outside and hit it like crap, like I just did. So admittedly, guys, part of why I've improved this year lefty-lefty is because I've got a lot better at hitting that inside sinker. You guys saw me crush, or at least hit pretty well some of those inside sinkers before, and I have struggled since with the other pitches. Because that's not my sweet spot. My sweet spot with lefties is inside with that sinker or a four-seam fastball. Whatever pitch the pitcher has, I've gotten good at hitting those. I'm good at taking it away. So I also, this is good for me. I'm working on this right now. This is good practice for anybody. Look at that, ding dong. This is good practice for anybody. I think everybody should use practice mode more than they do because most people don't touch it at all. But that's how I've gotten better as I've practiced. And it's, it's easy enough if you do it too. Look at that, back-to-back perfects. Hey everyone, sorry to interrupt this absolutely incredible video that you're watching, but I have something very exciting to tell you, and it is that we have new merch available. It's been a little while since I've hyped up the merch, but like I said, I'm super excited about this. It shows off the new logo, some new designs, some new things that you guys might not have thought you would have wanted. So let's go look at it. As you can see here on my merch store, we have a discount running. If you use code KDJ10 now through the end of February, you're getting 10% off your entire order. So now is the best time to stock up on some new gear. We've got t-shirts, stickers for sticking on things, hoodies for if you live in chilly places and want to keep your nipples all sorts of warm, notebooks if you enjoy writing things down. Of course, we still have the classic The Show the Podcast t-shirts. And lastly, my favorite piece of new merch, it is the embroidered firewood hoodie. This is stitched on. It is a piece of my logo that doesn't include kdjTV. It's just the bolt, it's just the bat. It looks crazy good, and it also appears on the left wrist. Come on now. So like I said, KDJ10 gets you 10% off now through the end of February, and the link to my merch store is always in the description. If you buy something, let me know. I'll blow you a kiss. All right, back to the content. Clearly, we have advanced past that. So what we're going to do now, and this is going to be the biggest struggle, we're going to turn sinker and cutters all the way on. We're going to ignore the curveball, we're going to ignore the circle change, we're going to ignore the four-seamer. Why, you ask? I hear you asking. Curveballs are not difficult to hit. You just have to have a good eye and know when it's below the zone. And enough people, when they see a loopy, they know to lay off. The circle change, everyone has a circle change or a changeup. It's not new to you. And a four-seam fastball should be easier for you to hit than the sinker. The primary tunnel from most lefties is going to be sinker cutter, so that's what we're practicing. We're turning on sinker, we're turning on cutter. Every strike quadrant or zone, every strike zone is enabled. We don't want balls. Look, you can enable balls if you want. I don't want that. I don't know why anyone would. We just want reps. I want every pitch to be a strike, so I'm getting as many swings as possible. And now is when we can really start using our strategy. I'm going to start in. I have no clue where the ball's going to be. And it was that sinker outside that we've been practicing. Note, my PCI was great. I was just very late. This is what we want. Look at that. Cutter in. That's going to be another pitch you start getting. If you're early on the sinker inside, you're going to be very early on that. But you should be able to tip it like I just did. And then boom, our sinker in that we've been practicing. Again, these swings are not fantastic. This is legend. I'm not really a legend player. But this is how I practice. So in my opinion, I think practice mode would be better if you could do two things. One, if you could use any batter in the game. If you could use like legend cards, 99s, if you could just use the swings you're struggling with, I think that would be helpful. Secondly, I wish it was like even stronger of a practice mode. Like I wish you could program pitcher sequences. Like right now, I would program sinker in, cutter away, 3-pitch combos, and I would just get that on repeat so I could really practice. Unfortunately, we're kind of just left up to whatever the AI decides to do, which might be fine because it's more random. But I want to see the sequences I'm going to be seeing in the games because I know how people pitch. Everybody pitches the same way. That's why the meta's so stale. There we go. A nice perfect to end it. Little front door cutter. Love that. Once you get enough swings in, you'll know when you feel good. You'll know. Only you can tell when you feel good. Right now, I feel like I'm ready to play. And guys, that is how I practice. The reason I did not do this in ranked is because I cannot guarantee that my opponent will use a lefty, even if I bring an entire lefty lineup. So I didn't want to go through the waste of time that is. Plus, I think it's better to control what you can control. Go into practice mode, control your controllables, intentionally practice, and that's how you can get better. If this video helped you, let me know. If you have other strategies on how to get better at hitting lefty-lefty, let the people know. This is a community here. We all help each other out. Don't be shy. Share that info. Thank you guys for making it to the end. I love you all. See you next time.